Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time all around. Welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 7 years. And in today's Freelance Friday video, I'm answering a question that I received on a previous video. So if you have a question, be sure to leave that down below, and I will do my best to either think about it, comment back, or think about it and make a video. If I can, I'll do my best. And today is a bit of a tipsy video because it has been a long week and an even longer day. We're on drink number 3 and we are living our best life over here. Yes, we are. So we hit up happy hour at our favorite local bar, and my favorite local bartender has been nice to me. And our drinks were a wee bit strong. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna drink this or not. But I'm gonna throw myself a softball question today. I don't think I've even said what the question is yet. Okay. I saw your seller profile in the gigs. So like you are a top rated one, so you may have 30 gigs, right? But you only have 7. So what does this mean? Are 7 more than enough to get full-time job level of work, or you intend to keep your skills and focus to 7? Because this all contradicts what some shady people say, throwing shade, that having multiple Fiverr account is good and all. I think they mean Fiverr gigs, multiple Fiverr gigs. So yes, the question of like how many gigs should you have on Fiverr? As a new seller, you can have up to 7 gigs. And then when you hit level 1, you can go up to 10. When you hit level 2, you can go up to 20. And as a top rated seller, you can have 30. So yes, I personally can have 30 different gigs, and I am intentionally choosing at this moment in time to have 7. Today's topic is how many should you have? First of all, yes, to answer the question, 7 gigs is more than enough to keep me busy. I have been so busy this week. I don't know what has changed in the algorithm or the world or whatever, but I spent an hour and 20 minutes the other day answering inquiries, like inbox messages. I've actually, as I've mentioned in previous videos, turned off some gigs that I started because I thought they would be a good idea. And like market-wise, I think they would be. Interest-wise, I think they could be. And if I feel like I want to add new stuff, I'll try it. But then I usually kind of trim back to create like the core amount of services that gives me the amount of work that I need without overstretching myself. I want to focus on what I'm most passionate about. So if you are like me and you actually want to be like fulfilled in the work that you're doing, you shouldn't be filling up your gig profile with gigs and services that when people order them, you're going to be like bummed about them ordering. It's not fun. So I want to make sure that every order I receive, I'm really invested in, I feel excited about and passionate about doing. And if it doesn't like spark that for me and I start to feel like, it's just not quite a good fit, then I'm going to put it on pause. Yes, I'm passionate about 7 things right now, and those things are my gigs. And I'm not going to create 30 different things just because they could be lucrative if I'm not actually passionate about them. Number 3, I also like to just create like a simple, clean buying experience. So if you look at my profile, you can see that it's very straightforward. So those things are very clear, different like categories of writing. And so there's no question of what you should buy. If you want to buy email campaigns, you buy the email campaign gig. If you want to buy website content, you buy the website content gig. Like, I think that there is a little bit of confusion that could potentially happen if you, for example, are an article writer and you make an article writing gig about real estate, another one about cannabis, another one about fashion. So if someone has something that's not related to those topics specifically, they might be like, well, what gig do I order? And so I think that just creating like a very streamlined, clear, confident kind of like persona for myself of not creating unnecessary confusion for my buyers, that's definitely like a top priority for me personally. Number 4, it's a pro and a con, but for me it's a con that I receive way more inquiries. The more gigs I have, there's more opportunities for people to find me, which is great. But there's also more opportunities for people to send me inquiries that they don't actually end up ordering, or it's not what they need, or it's like confusing for them for some reason, or they just need help. I use a lot of quick responses. A lot of my messaging is automated because I know what common questions people are asking. I know how to message them back quickly. And even with that, oh my gosh, I've been inundated this week with questions that I have to manually answer, and it takes so long. And so yes, the fewer gigs that I have available, the fewer inquiries I get that need actual individual attention. It's not going to turn into anything kind of inquiries and just focus on the things that will clearly turn into something and can actually be like lucrative and, if I'm being honest, like worth my time. Cheers. Oh, that's not right. It is less work to create fewer gigs. I have created a few different videos on this topic. Have you realized I've been doing this for like 11 months now? 10 months? A lot of months now. And so I've made a lot of different videos. If you're unfamiliar, go back through my library, check it out. There's a lot of advice in there. I like to make all of my gig images and videos match. And so if I'm gonna create 30 different gigs, it already takes me like 2 days to just create the 7 or 10-ish that I have like prepared right now. You need to make sure that your gig, like persona, your branded self is very polished, professional, cohesive, trustworthy more than anything. If you try to just create tons and tons of gigs, it's just gonna take you forever. And yes, maybe that investment of your time is going to pay off, which I'm going to get to in a sec. Maybe it's not. And maybe it would be more effective to focus on a smaller number of gigs that you can create that persona and like visual, visual presentation more effectively and like professionally with a smaller number than you would trying to like piecemeal and just like half-ass it with a whole bunch of different services. I have to say yet again, you should and can, can and should only sell services you're actually 100% qualified to be selling. The chances of me creating 30 different gigs of things that I'm truly 100% qualified to be offering at the price point and level of professionalism that I claim to be, that's a little questionable. Who says that they're good at everything? Because you might be, but chances are you're not. But there are some reasons that you might choose to completely ignore my advice and ignore what I'm personally doing because, like I mentioned, I'm in a different place in my business than you might potentially be. I hope that there's other like pro top-rated sellers watching my channel and you guys also can like commiserate with me or like feel like we're on the same page. But chances are you are at a lower starting level or you're trying to get into it or whatever, and like good for you. Freelancing is awesome. So let's talk about like reasons you might want to maximize the amount of gigs that you have available. One of the reasons that they suggest to make just as many gigs as you possibly can is because each of those gigs could potentially allow you to succeed in search better. So you just have like more chances with the algorithm, you have more chances of catching search traffic, and you could potentially rank higher with each of those gigs. You are kind of like throwing more hats in the ring for people looking for the kind of service you can deliver. I haven't personally heard this advice being said, but it did occur to me when I was kind of drafting up this video, and that is that if you are actively promoting your service on social media, just having different gigs to promote will give you kind of more to work with. Obviously, if you only have 2 gigs and you're constantly like shoving that at your audience, it can seem a little repetitive and pretty like redundant. And so just having more areas that you can like, or not areas, but what kind of areas? Like service areas to promote is just another asset that you can like turn into content for you, basically. Moving on. Okay. Potentially, you could be like the exact right fit for the kind of search traffic that you're receiving. If you are an article writer and let's say that you have an extensive background as a realtor, and when someone searches for an article about real estate investing and you happen to have so much information in that niche area, you could be the exact right fit that they're looking for and thus perfection. And you might want to tap into a very, very specific niche. And so by creating different gigs that target those specific niches, people could feel like they've just found the exact right fit with you and it's just like meant to be. And last but not least, there is something to say about like the freedom to maximize the liberty that you are given. So if you are so excited to go from a level 1 seller to level 2, and suddenly you have the ability to go from 10 gigs to 20 and you're like, yes, I want to take advantage of that. It's your business, it's your life. Make sure that you're taking advantage of it and that you are like turning it into what you want it to be in the long run. And you are in charge of it. Thank you again so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like my content. Let's get back to work, except not me because I've been drinking. Happy Friday.